Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our virtual open evening for the BSc Honours Veterinary Nursing top-up degree. We're delighted to have you with us tonight. So, our aim for tonight is to give you a clear overview of the programme, answer any questions, and help you to decide if this is the right next step for your career. So, before we begin, just a few housekeeping points. This session is being recorded, and you'll receive a link to watch the recording afterwards. If you have any questions at all, please just type them into the Q&A box and we'll address these at the end. If you encounter any technical issues, if you could use the chat and we'll assist you from there. But first, some introductions. So my name is Lauren Norton and I'm the programme lead for the top-up degree. I'm a qualified RVN. I graduated with a first class honours and have worked in both first opinion and referral practice before moving into lecturing over a decade ago. I also hold a master's degree in clinical animal behaviour, a subject that I'm really passionate about. So I'm incredibly proud of this programme, especially following its recent full revalidation. We've worked really hard as a result to make it contemporary, flexible, and relevant to today's veterinary profession. So let's get started. I'll now hand over to my colleague Jess to introduce herself, and together we'll be guiding you through this webinar this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. So I'm Jess, and I'm the Student Engagement Officer for the college, and I'm very excited to be here. So I'm a registered vet nurse, and I've been qualified since 2012, and I've been in higher education for 12 years, and I love it. And I'm so very excited to share our BSc top-up program with you all. So I'll hand back to Lauren, and we'll do the webinar. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jess. That's great. Okay. Just before we move on, I just want to pause for a moment to look at this photo. It's from one of our graduation ceremonies, and these occasions are always filled with a lot of emotions, excitement, pride, and just a real sense of achievement for our graduating students. And I just want you to picture yourself here in potentially just a couple of years, celebrating your success with friends and family. And that's exactly what we want for you, a qualification that opens doors, builds your confidence, and sets you up for a rewarding future. So, what's the purpose of this programme? Well, as I briefly mentioned earlier, we recently revalidated the programme, and that just really gave us the perfect opportunity to listen to all of our stakeholders. So, current and former students, potential applicants like yourselves, and the wider veterinary profession. So, we asked, what do you want from a top-up degree in veterinary nursing? What will help you achieve your professional aspirations? And you spoke and we listened and we built the programme around your feedback. So, first and foremost, this is an opportunity for RVNs with a level 3 diploma or foundation degree or equivalent to progress to a full BSc honours degree. And our aims for this are quite clear. We want you to graduate as a safe, competent, reflective professional who can think critically, solve problems, and deliver holistic patient care. We also focus on autonomy, complex decision making, and teamwork, and they're skills that will really set you apart in practice. And it doesn't stop there. We really encourage lifelong learning and build in a lot of transferable skills. So this could prepare you for roles in research, education, leadership, and collaboration across the veterinary profession. And I think one of the most exciting aspects of our revalidated program is that it's entirely online. We know that RVNs lead really busy lives, often balancing work, family, and personal commitments. And you asked for flexibility, and so that's exactly what we've delivered with this course. So all of the teaching materials, including the live interactive sessions, are all delivered online. So technically you can study from anywhere in the world. While of course you're always welcome to visit our centres at the College of Animal Welfare or Middlesex University, there's actually no mandatory in-person attendance at all. And so this programme is really designed to fit around your life, whatever that involves. So I'd just also like to talk about entry requirements. So I mentioned this previously, but to join the programme, you'll need a level 3 qualification in veterinary nursing or equivalent and be a registered veterinary nurse with the RCVS. Or if you're practicing internationally, then to hold an equivalent international qualification. We do also accept some of the older qualifications, such as the RCVS certificate, providing that your training was equivalent to the level 3 diploma. If this might apply to you and you're a bit unsure of whether you're eligible, you can just contact us directly for some advice. So, our international applicants just need to provide officially translated certificates and also evidence of English proficiency, um, IELTS 6.5 overall, with no component below 6. But obviously, if you have any questions about this, just contact us and we're really happy to guide you through the process. So, finally, as part of the application process, most of our applicants will complete the recognition of prior learning process, which we're going to explain shortly. So, one of the most attractive aspects of our top-up degree is that flexibility. So, you can choose to study full-time or part-time, which makes it a lot easier to fit your studies around work and personal commitments. We know life is really busy sometimes, and this flexibility just helps to remove those barriers to higher education, and that's really, really important to us. So, as I mentioned, this program is delivered entirely through distance learning, so you don't need to attend lectures on campus. All of our teaching and learning activities are hosted on our online platform, and it includes both live synchronous sessions and also self-paced or asynchronous materials. So for each 12-week module on this course, you'll join live online teaching sessions for around 2 hours every other week, or essentially 6 sessions per 12-week module run. These sessions are scheduled in advance, and we do always aim to give you plenty of notice of those dates because obviously we understand many of you have got work and family responsibilities. Attendance at these live sessions is compulsory, however. So, in addition to that, you'll have 2 academic advising tutorials, individual tutorials per semester. These are a lot more flexible and can be arranged essentially at times that suit both you and your advisor. Outside of those live teaching sessions, you'll engage in independent study, again, at times that work best for you. So that could include activities like reading articles and research papers. You might be working on projects and preparing for assessments. We do use a variety of assessment methods to suit different learning styles. So it could be a combination of pre-recorded presentations, independent research projects, written assignments. So you'll develop a broad range of skills throughout the programme. So let's now just take a bit of a closer look at the course structure and content. So first up, if you choose the full-time route, you'll study 2 modules per semester. Each semester lasts 12 weeks, and there's 2 semesters per academic year. So each module that you study is worth 30 credits, which is the equivalent of around 300 study hours. So our full-time students complete 4 modules per year over 2 years. Then our part-time learners follow exactly the same exciting content and modules, but just at that slightly slower pace. So they will study 1 module per 12-week semester. So 2 modules per year, which means the course runs over 4 years. And as I said before, in the last few years, we actually recently revalidated the program, and that just gave us a really amazing opportunity to design a course that really meets the needs of our learners. And the result from that was we managed to incorporate a really diverse range of modules, and there's something really for everyone. So, first up in year 1, if you love surgical nursing, then the surgical nursing module will likely be right up your street. If you prefer medical cases, then we've got our medical nursing module, and that's perfect for those managing blood glucose curves or interpreting PCVs for IMHA patients. You'll also study evidence-based nursing and explore the evolving role of the veterinary nurse. And then on year 2, for our full-time applicants, for our ECC enthusiasts, you'll deepen your knowledge of emergency and critical care nursing as well as anaesthesia. And perhaps research excites you, and we've got the quality improvement module that lets you investigate an area that you're passionate about. So just to clarify, our part-time students complete all of those same modules. It's just spread over 4 years rather than 2. If you already hold a foundation degree in veterinary nursing, you might be able to finish the course in just 1 year full-time or 2 years part-time, subject to university approval. Either way, all of those routes lead to our fantastic graduation ceremony, that photo that I showed you right at the beginning. And that's a real day of celebration, of networking, and just having that real pride in all of your achievements. And trust me, graduation day comes around a lot faster than you might think.
Yeah, it's the best day ever.
It's amazing, isn't it, Jess? I'm actually going to hand back over to you now, Jess, if that's okay, to
Of
talk us through
course.
all of the benefits of a top-up degree in veterinary nursing.
So I think it's really important because we do get asked this a lot. Why do a top-up degree? And I think it's really important because it will deepen your clinical knowledge. It's about strengthening your critical thinking, even maybe your decision-making skills, because we're all responsible for our own actions. And I do feel that vet nurses were so skilled, and we will become more skilled as maybe we're allowed to get even more involved within our veterinary profession as time goes on. So it's all about understanding evidence-based practice. And I think these skills that are increasingly valued really in modern veterinary care. And it's really important that you also challenge yourself, broaden your career options. And this degree could maybe open pathways into like specialist nursing roles. So anesthesia or emergency and critical care, or maybe help you become a head nurse or any other leadership position. Even maybe you might want to join me and Lauren in education or even go into research. And I think it's about improving your confidence as well, and also giving you that deeper theory and knowledge to be the best vet nurse that you can be. And, we're all so passionate about vet nursing, and I know you will be as well in our profession. And, that top up degree, it'll support your long term career progression and even maybe increase the competitiveness for yourself when you're maybe wanting to move jobs or find a different sort of career field, maybe that you're really passionate about. And that is where maybe an advanced qualification, it will be really beneficial to you. Also, it's becoming more common to see degrees requested, isn't it, for different jobs? I think Lauren would agree. And I think it is about that professional recognition and about your personal development as well. And we all are expected to reflect now in our one CPD, and I think that can help you as well. But there's all these sort of different areas, and I do think it is about those advanced skills and specialization opportunities as well. Like me and Lauren have specialized, so I have done an exotic nursing certificate, and I love anesthesia. And I'll just let Lauren tell you what she specialized in.
Oh, thanks, Jess. Well, my particular area of interest currently is clinical animal behaviour. I did my master's degree in that topic, but when I worked in referral settings, I worked in internal medicine and oncology. So, yeah, a few kind of key areas of interest for me. Thanks, Jess.
And I think a top-up degree will help you in that. And it is about increased job satisfaction. I absolutely love being a registered vet nurse, and I know you all will as well. And I do feel that this top-up degree would help you along with that and fall even more in love with your profession than you already are. So I think if I can have the next slide, that would be great. Perfect. So I always say take a moment at this point to say, don't just take it from us. We have some of our student testimonials here as well. So a lot of our students really feel that the top-up degree fits around their work-life balance. The online element is really helpful, and not having those compulsory attendance days are really good. So when we have here is one of our students, so Fabio, and he graduated, and he said that he'd been able to do the degree, it enhanced his theoretical knowledge, and it had allowed him to be able to open up opportunities that he maybe had not had before. And he said that he found the modules really engaging and that all of us are really supportive. Thank you, Fabio. That's really nice to know. And you do have dedicated staff that are really qualified, really experienced that will be teaching you, and that all are really passionate about their subjects. And we're really excited, for you to join us so we can share all our knowledge with you. And I think a top up, as Fabio says here, and it's the really important part is it really is an investment in your future and really worthwhile doing. And it could, as we just said on the previous slide, open up many opportunities for yourself in the future. And it is about improving your confidence and your knowledge and getting yourself to be the best veterinary nurse that you can be. And Fabio, particularly, he comes back and shares his knowledge with our students when we've done some career events, some other open events, and it is really great to know. So, thank you, Lauren. I will hand back to you, I think, if that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jess. Lovely. Okay, just moving on forwards. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about something I just briefly mentioned earlier, which is the recognition of prior learning. We often abbreviate it to RPL or RPEL because obviously recognition of prior learning is a little bit of a mouthful. So this is usually a key part of accessing the top-up program, but please don't panic. I'm going to talk you through it. So as qualified RVNs, the vast majority, if not every single one of you will already have all of the knowledge, skills, and experience needed to meet these level four learning outcomes. So, essentially, just to explain why we need to do this, to achieve a full BSc honours degree, you need 360 credits. And the top up degree gives you 240 of those at level five and six. So the RPEL process simply awards you the remaining 120 level four credits based on what essentially you very likely already know and do. Um, so it basically just bridges that gap between your level three qualification and being able to step onto the program at level five. So the RPEL submission is a pass-fail portfolio. Um, you can have up to 3 attempts if needed, one formative with feedback and then two summative. But quite honestly, I don't think I've actually known anyone to need all of those attempts. Um, the expected submission timeframe is usually towards the end of August, but that will be confirmed with you a bit nearer the time. But just to emphasize really that if you are a qualified RVN, particularly if you're now working in practice or have ever worked in practice, then it's very likely that you already do or have done almost everything that's required for the RPAL, probably every single day in clinic. It's not about learning something new or overly challenging you. It's just about reflecting on your existing skills and putting evidence together in a structured way. When I mention the word portfolio, it kind of brings to mind the nursing progress log or the portfolio from the old days. And it's definitely not as in-depth or complex as that. It's not designed to be. It's all about just reflecting on those existing skills and just bridging that gap up to level five. So, for example, if you already know how to register patients and while doing so comply with confidentiality and GDPR requirements, if you already know how to follow Schedule 3, if you carry out nursing assessments and handle patients safely, all of those everyday activities as a veterinary nurse directly map onto the learning outcomes for this RPEL. So, really the RPEL is definitely not designed to trip you up or be overly challenging for you. It's simply there as a way for the university to formally recognise all of the professional learning that you've already achieved as a qualified veterinary nurse and enable you to step up onto a top-up degree. So, what does the RPEL portfolio actually involve? Well, as you can see on screen, it's structured around the four level four domains, which essentially mirror what students study on the full BSc programme in their first year. But again, these domains reflect things that you very likely already do or have been doing in practice as RVNs. So, as you can see on screen, the four domains are firstly professional development. So, this is where you show things like how you keep accurate records, how you ensure patients are correctly identified, and how you comply with data protection, which I'm sure all of you already do or have done in the past every single day. Um, Next up, we've got fundamentals of working in a veterinary environment. So here you'll be talking about using anatomical terminology, understanding infectious disease control, performing patient assessments, and working safely. Again, very standard parts of an everyday veterinary nursing role, usually. Then we've got body systems. So this covers the gastrointestinal and the integument systems. So, you're going to be drawing on case examples where perhaps you've been involved in diagnostic tests and nursing care for common conditions like gastroenteritis or dermatitis or wound management or skin disease. Again, all quite routine cases, particularly in the average general practice, I would say. And then the last domain is practical veterinary nursing. So here is where you can evidence your hands-on skills, so things like handling and restraint, basic nursing assessments, preparing samples, interpreting results, and demonstrating those RCVS aligned professional behaviours. As I said, if you're an RVN working in practice or have worked in practice, it's very likely that you do every single one of these things already. Um, and you don't just have to write lots and lots of text. You can use workplace case examples. You can use certificates like CPD certificates or photos, obviously, as long as they're appropriately anonymized, or written reflections. And the goal here is just really to simply capture all of that wonderful knowledge and experience that you've already built up and use that to against your level four credits. So although it might seem perhaps a little bit daunting or detailed on paper, in reality, it's just a really structured way of presenting the everyday clinical skills, the decision making, and the professional behaviours that you're already demonstrating as registered veterinary nurses. And of course, we are here as tutors to support you with that step by step. So you definitely won't be on your own. You'll be allocated a specific supervisor who will support you with completing your RPEL portfolio. So applications. I know we're probably, Jess and I are really hoping that you'll come and join us. So how to apply to the course? Well, we accept applications either via UCAS or directly to the university. UCAS is usually the preferred route, but direct applications are, of course, fine too. Um, the application forms are generally quite straightforward, but if you do have any questions or you need guidance, then please don't hesitate to contact us. So once you've applied and we've reviewed your application and just confirmed that you meet the entry requirements, you'll be invited to an informal interview, most likely with myself, or it could be with one of the other program tutors. And again, it's very informal. It's just simply an opportunity for us to get to know you, you to get to know us, and just make sure that you understand the type of commitment that might be involved, help you decide whether full-time or part-time study is the best fit for you. And it's very relaxed and supportive. It's just really for us to meet together and help you to make the right decision for you and for your future. So all offers on the program are conditional on successful completion of the recognition of prior learning process. So if you hold a level three qualification or equivalent, that will be the portfolio that we've just spoken about previously. But if you already hold a foundation degree in vet nursing, it's a little bit more straightforward. All we need is copies of your certificates and transcripts, and we'll actually submit the RPEL application on your behalf. So if you've already done a foundation degree in veterinary nursing, you won't need to do the portfolio. We'll just make an application on your behalf. Um, so yeah, essentially an offer to come onto this course will be subject to completing either the RPEL portfolio process, or us applying for RPEL on your behalf, just so that you can achieve those level four credits. Okay, so next up, let's talk about study fees. So the current university fees are shown on screen, although please remember that they may change from time to time every year, for example, due to inflation. So for the 2026-27 academic year, when I last checked the website, UK fees were showing as £9,535 per year for full-time study. And for part-time students, it works out as roughly half that amount per year. It's charged per taught credit instead. So for international students, the fees are 17,200 per year for full-time learners and £143 per taught credit for part-time study. So the most up-to-date information on fees is always going to be the Middlesex University website. And if you have any questions at all about your individual circumstances, the university's fees and finance team are very likely going to be one of the best people to speak to. If you're based in England, then Student Finance England can also offer guidance and support. So I'm also often asked about payment schedules, and if you are coming onto the programme this autumn, then the fees are normally due in September. However, if you sign up to be a full-time student and you're a UK student, then usually you can opt to choose an instalment plan if you would prefer to spread the cost a little bit. So at the moment, I'm aware that they offer the option to pay in 8 monthly instalments from September through to April. And that's often quite a popular option, I find, because obviously it makes budgeting much easier across the academic year. International students will follow a slightly different structure to that, however. So they pay 50% at the start of the course and 50% at the start of the following semester. There's no extra cost for splitting the payments, and there's no additional fees or interest added as far as I'm aware. You simply select the instalment option that's available to you. So for part-time students, it's a little bit different. So for part-timers, the fees are charged per semester, and each semester's fees need to be paid within that same semester. The only exception to that that I'm aware of is if we have a part-time student that's receiving Student Finance England funding, and in that case, the fees are released to the university semester by semester according to the modules that you're registered on. So the payment schedule will naturally sort of follow that pattern. And what's included in your tuition fees? Well, you'll have access to the vast majority of resources that you need to study successfully. So all of your learning materials, your resources, all of the software you need. Um, if you're able to visit a campus, you can have free laptop loans for up to 24 hours. When I last checked, were offering discount codes and things like that if you need to purchase a laptop. You also can have access to free online training through LinkedIn Learning, or last time I checked, you did have access to that. And that covers topics like CV writing and coaching. So that can be really, really useful for future development of your profession. We also give you access to the Cortex scheme, and that's a really exciting scheme actually because it basically gives you one e-textbook per module. So that's actually 8 e-textbooks across levels 5 and 6, and they're all accessible 24/7. And access to those textbooks is actually yours to keep after graduation. So you keep it forever, which, as we know, textbooks, veterinary textbooks particularly, can cost quite a bit of money. So having each textbook given to you can be quite helpful and save quite a lot of money.
That's
Um,
really helpful. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
absolutely,
amazing.
Jess. It's really, really good, isn't it? It's just like
Hmm.
an online kind of library, isn't it, of all of your books.
Exactly.
Um, so as a student of both the College of Animal Welfare and Middlesex University, what's really cool is that you actually have access to basically an enormous range of academic resources. So you can access the Middlesex University online library, you get access to veterinary journals like the Veterinary Nurse and the VNJ. And in addition to academic resources, which is very plentiful, Middlesex University also provides quite extensive student support as well. So through Middlesex University, you'll have access to wellbeing services like online tools, free confidential counselling, which can also be accessed through the College of Animal Welfare too. You get contact with the student advice and inclusion team at Middlesex, and they can help with study adjustments, putting into place support plans, and screenings for dyslexia or ADHD, for example. We've also got the academic skills team who are really fantastic, and they offer support with writing, maths, academic skills, could be statistics for your research project in the final year, and they offer drop-ins and written feedback as well. And we also have something very good, which is the academic advising scheme. So you'll be paired with a dedicated advisor throughout your studies. We'll also go through all of these support options in much, much more detail during Welcome Week, just before we start the course. So you'll know exactly where to find help whenever you need it. Just a quick reminder, though, that you would need to budget for your own desktop or laptop computer with a stable internet connection. You'll also need a webcam, microphone, and headset. They are all essential for taking part in live online sessions, as well as accessing the asynchronous materials. But generally, you can usually um, pick some of that sort of equipment up fairly cheaply if you need to. Okay, so that's actually everything from us, and now it's over to you. So, do you have any questions? If you haven't already and you have a question, just pop it in the Q&A box and we'll go through as many as we can. Thank you so much.
Well, we don't have any questions at the moment, but I think we will just, just talk about a few other things, Lauren, if that's okay. So I think
Absolutely.
in terms of when students are applying and they have an interview, there can be a little bit of concern or nervousness around interviews. So what would you tell potential candidates to reassure them?
Oh, that's a really great question, Jess. And absolutely, I think, you know what, we all feel a bit nervous when we know we've got an interview, right? It's really normal. I think it would be less normal if we didn't feel a little bit nervous or apprehensive, perhaps, not know what to expect. But definitely, I can offer some reassurance for applicants coming onto this course. So when I say we'll book you in for an interview, it's a really, really informal process. It's essentially just, a friendly, relaxed chat, usually with myself or one of the other tutors, where, we can just get to know each other a bit, find out a bit about your career so far. We can talk you through the course, probably go through a lot of the things we've talked about this evening, like what the modules are that we'll study, the RPEL process and things like that, and just answer any questions that you might have. And also just help you decide whether full-time or part-time would be the right study option for you. So really the whole kind of idea with the informal interview is just to help you make sure that you're making the right decision for you in your career. So it's not like a formal process or a test or anything like that. It's really making sure that you're making the right decision for you and that you know what the course entails. So yeah, it's definitely something that applicants don't need to be nervous about because it's a very informal process.
Thank you, Lauren. I think that
Thanks,
would
Jess.
definitely have put our listeners at ease in terms of the
I
interview.
hope so. Yeah. But can I just add actually, Jess, to
Mm.
that, on that note, that if anyone is thinking of applying, but maybe they want to find out a little bit more, they can always send us an email and we can communicate via that way, and ask any questions that you might have. So yeah, absolutely. We're always happy to answer questions. As you mentioned earlier, we're all extremely proud of the top up degree, and we're really, really excited to share how amazing it is. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
any
sure.
questions at all, always just drop us a line and we'll be happy to help.
Perfect. So we do have a question in the question box now. So
Oh, lovely.
from Sarah. So do you need to be working at practice as I am in education? Great question.
Oh, good. That's a really good question, actually. And I can definitely confirm you don't need to be currently working in practice to apply to this course. Um, you don't, yeah, there's no requirement. And we do have a number of students currently on program that are not working in clinical practice. So that's definitely not a barrier to coming onto the course. In terms of achieving the recognition of prior learning, if that person needed to do the portfolio, for example, if they didn't already have a foundation degree, again, not being in practice is also no barrier to that because either we can potentially backdate some of the evidence. For example, perhaps they were in practice a few years back, then they can discuss, sort of clinical situations they experienced when they were last in practice. Or I know that quite a lot of veterinary nurses maybe don't work full time in clinical practice, but perhaps do a little bit of locum work. So we can perhaps use some of that as evidence. Or additionally, or instead of all of that, what we can do is actually use some of their teaching experience. So, for example, I think you mentioned they were in education. So when they're teaching about informed consent, GDPR, then we can use that as part of the recognition of prior learning as well. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think it
Perfect.
will
But
have
yeah,
done.
definitely no barrier.
She says thank you. So thank you,
Oh,
Sarah.
perfect. Yeah, no worries at all.
Um, no, it's nice to see others in education as well. So a fellow lecturer maybe,
Oh,
which is exciting.
absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's wonderful. We don't have any other questions at the moment, but I will ask another one that we normally sort of get asked just in case anyone's wondering in here, is
Yeah, go
about
for it.
types of assessments across the modules.
Mhm.
As students or potential candidates do like to know what kind of assessments they'll be doing, and that might help them make an informed choice.
Yeah, totally. I love that question actually. Something I love sharing with people because when we revalidated the course, I'm sure you'll remember, Jess, we
Hmm.
really tried to incorporate just a nice range of different assessment types because, everyone learns differently. Everyone, um, has skills in different areas. And so we just wanted to make sure there was really something for everyone. So for the people that enjoy academic writing, yes, they do exist. We do have some written assessments, written assignments. But then also we have some quite sort of, modern, novel ideas. Like we've got one of the assessments for emergency and critical care is a series of video logs or vlogs. So they can record themselves basically making a vlog. So then it gives people the opportunity that maybe prefer that sort of communication rather than written assessment. We are very excitingly, we actually also have, I just mentioned very briefly, we've got the QI project and the QI proposal. And essentially that those two modules are basically like joined together, if you like. Um, and the proposal leading into the project. And what you're doing there is you're actually planning and then undertaking your own research project, which is a really cool thing to do and very good to get experience with. So when you leave the course and you graduate, you can actually say that you've not only got a degree in veterinary nursing, but that you've actually also conducted your own primary research. And what we really hope is that, not only will you graduate with this degree, but you might even want to publish your work. So you could leave also with your name imprint if you wanted to pursue that potentially. So that's one of my, I guess, one of my top favorite assessments because I just think it's such a great experience and a great opportunity for our students to be able to do their own research. So yeah, we definitely have a really good range of different assessment types. We've also got a few pre-recorded poster presentations as well, which again, it can give our students that really nice experience. So if they ever want to sort of go to a congress and present their work at a congress, then it just means you've sort of done that before and you've got that little bit of experience doing that. So yeah, really, really nice range of varied assessments, hopefully something to suit everybody.
Yeah, and I think I really like how you highlighted the dissertation because sometimes that can seem a little bit daunting for some learners potentially, but I think it, like you say, it's wonderful because you also do have that chance to be published at the end. That actually did happen for one of my students. I helped them with their project and we got published in the Vet Nurse, and that was such a wonderful time for them and very exciting for me as well. So that was
Absolutely.
really,
To
really
have your
good.
name in
So
print as well as having a
exactly.
degree, I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool, isn't
It is.
it?
It was definitely on my bucket list, and I'm very proud of that student. So we do
Exactly.
have one more question. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Okay.
so can you RPL any level four certificates over, or would you need to cover all units? For example, I have my certificate in ECC, nutrition, ETC.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Yeah, good question. So essentially, in theory, we still need to complete the recognition of prior learning portfolio, but it's very likely that you can use your learning from those certificates within the RPEL. So I mentioned probably just very briefly earlier when I was talking about the RPEL that you don't need to just, write lots and lots of text for them. You can actually include copies of, CPD certificates and things like that, photographs. If you wanted to, you could even upload video evidence. So what you could very likely do is potentially use those certificates against some of the criteria within the RPEL, if that makes sense. So you could attach your certificates as an appendix for some of the criteria. So yes, essentially the RPEL would likely still need to be completed, but you could use those certificates within the RPEL submission. I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers the question.
I think
Oh,
yeah,
perfect. Good.
yeah,
Okay, lovely.
yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Good. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? We'll see. Okay, so I think as a last thing, Lauren, it would be really great to go through how to apply again, just in case anyone missed that bit.
Yeah, of
If that's okay with
course.
you, I think that would be sort
Absolutely.
of nice to finish on.
I think that's a very good idea. What I'll do is I'll just scroll back to here because then you can just see the websites and how to access them. So just to clarify that, so you can apply either via UCAS, you can apply directly to university. UCAS is usually the preferred route, but you can apply directly as well. The application form itself via either route is usually quite straightforward. But obviously, as I mentioned, if you have any questions or you just need a bit of guidance, then please do get in touch. We're I would like to think we're a really approachable, friendly bunch, and we just really love helping our students, genuinely love helping our students. So yeah, any help required, any support, any questions, just give us a shout. Um, so once you have submitted your application form, and once we've reviewed it and just confirmed that you do meet the entry requirements, i.e., you're a qualified veterinary nurse registered with the RCVS, you'll then be invited to an informal interview. Again, the interview, as I said, it's very relaxed, it's friendly, it's really just designed to help make sure that it's the right option for you and that you have all your questions answered about the course. And then it's just, yeah, an opportunity to get to know each other, and it's very relaxed and supportive just to help you make the right decision. So when you get an offer through, it will be conditional on successful completion of the RPEL process. So that could either be via the portfolio route if you've got a level three qualification or the equivalent, or if you've already got a foundation degree in vet nursing, then it will still be conditional on recognition of prior learning, but the process is a bit different where we just essentially fill in the paperwork for you and send it off along with copies of your certificates and transcripts. So yeah, I hope that clarifies the application process. But again, yeah, any questions or if anyone feels like they want to just have a bit of a one-to-one chat directly, then yeah, just get in touch. We'll be happy to help.
Excellent. So I
Thanks,
think
Jess.
the last thing then is to say, so what is the best thing about the top-up degree, Lauren? And then I'll answer as well.
Oh my gosh, Jess, that is
Mm,
such a hard question for me to answer because I feel like there's so many
mm,
aspects that I really love about this course. I think we're all super passionate about it. And, when we went through that revalidation process, we really got this amazing opportunity to essentially like carve the top up degree of our dreams. And we really did create exactly what we wanted to teach and what our students wanted to learn. So, I'm trying to narrow it down actually between two aspects because I've already talked to you through about the quality improvement project that you do in the final year and how that gives this amazing opportunity to do your own primary research with the support of your tutors and the university. So I won't go through that again, although I do think that comes on my probably
mhm,
top three things about the course, to be honest. But I actually think if I was to choose one thing for tonight, it would be to talk about the support that's offered to our students. So I mentioned it a little while back in tonight's webinar, but there's just such a huge range of support that's on offer to our students. So anything from academic skills support. So in their final year, when they're completing these research projects, they can get support from a statistician from the academic skills team at Middlesex Uni. They can get support with academic writing, with study skills. They can get access to free confidential counselling. They can get help with assessments in terms of adjustments or yeah, there's just so much support available. And on top of that, you also get a named academic advisor who gets to know you really well and you get to know them. Um, and they know, how you're progressing with your course, what you're enjoying about it, and if you're struggling with anything, they can support you with that. Um, and yeah, that just is a real, I would say, advantage to the course to have that one named person that if you have any questions, if you need any help, you can go to them. It may be that they then signpost you on to another service that can offer you, the best tailored guidance, but you've got that person that you can go to at any time and ask them. And I also feel like the tutors that we have on course are, I think you mentioned earlier, Jess, extremely passionate, very well qualified um, individuals, and just love supporting students through the top up degree.
yeah.
Love seeing students achieve, and we all just look forward to that summer graduation where we can see all of our students graduate from the program and celebrate their success with them. I think
I
we're a
really
really
agree.
friendly, approachable, and supportive group of tutors. So, yeah, I think the support that's on offer to our students is one of my key uh, top likes of the program, if you like. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Jess.
So I'll add to that and say
Yeah,
I
go for it.
think that because we have the full-time and part-time routes, that it's really flexible and it is designed and built around yourselves to make it easy for you to do this course and have a great work-life balance as well. Because we really want you to be able to develop your skills, develop your confidence and your knowledge, but not do it in a way where it maybe takes you away from your family or takes your free time away where you want to do other things. We want this to sort of work alongside and you can do everything. It is possible to have everything, I think. And I really like what you said about the supported team. I would totally agree, and that's reflected in our student feedback as well from our programs. But also, we both just love to see our learners grow in their confidence as they go through their modules, and we get to see them develop their reflective thinking, their critical analysis skills as they go through the research modules and dissertation. And I think it is that moment, like sort of I know it's a little bit cheesy, but that light bulb moment where you see the students take on what you're telling them and sharing with them, and then sharing experiences as well, because everyone that's in practice will be able to share their experiences, and we learn from those experiences just as much as you learn from our experiences. And I think that collaboration is also pretty wonderful. So hopefully we will see some of you in September, which is very exciting.
Absolutely. Oh,
And
Jess, can I just add something
yeah, of
else
course,
before we
please
finish
do.
off? I was talking about the support that's offered from this program, and one thing that I just wanted to mention, that something you said, Jess, just reminded me, is that yes, we have amazingly supportive and friendly and approachable tutors, but actually something that I hear from most, if not all of our students, is the peer support. So lots of our groups have their own WhatsApp groups set up. And every time I meet with students in one-to-one tutorials, they always say to me how amazing and supportive the other students are, particularly via their own WhatsApp groups. There's always someone available to answer questions if they're not sure of something, or, just to say, oh, how are you feeling about this? Or it's just a really lovely group of fellow professionals um, that kind of get to know each other really well and follow each other through the course. And then finally, on graduation day, often get to meet up for the first time in person, which is really, really lovely. So yeah, thanks, Jess. I just wanted to add that on.
No, I think that's great. A great addition. Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks.
So, just to give everyone one last opportunity to ask any questions, and then if not, we will finish the webinar. And we are so grateful for you all coming and listening about the program. And we wish you all the best with your careers, and hopefully that some of you might like to apply.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Jess. Definitely want to reiterate thanks so much for taking the time to come along and be with us this evening. We know that everyone's got very busy lives, work, family commitments, whatever you've got going on, and to take time away from that and come and meet us here tonight, we really appreciate it. So, yeah, I hope it's answered all of your questions. And if you do have any others, or you just want just an informal chat to see if it might be the right next option for you, then please get in touch.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I haven't got any more questions, so I think we will finish the webinar. Thank you ever so much, everybody.
Thank you so much for coming along, and thanks, Jess.